All right, example 3, it tells us to solve. The sine of x plus the square root of 2 is equal to negative sine of x. And so we want to get sine of x by itself, but since there's two of them, we need to get them on the same side. So it doesn't matter which one we move over. I like usually my variables, my trig functions, everything on the left side. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this sine of x over here. And so I have 2 sine of x plus the square root of 2 equals 0. And now I'm just going to algebraically get sine of x by itself. So I end up with 2 sine of x equals the negative square root of 2. And so I know sine of x is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. Alright, so now they didn't tell us how they wanted us to do it, so we could graph it, or we can use our unit circle. Sine is negative, so we're in quadrants, see it's positive, you remember? All students take calculus, all are positive in quadrant 1, sine is positive in quadrant 2, which means it's negative in quadrants 3 and quadrants 4. Sine is your y value, so you want to know what angle in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4 has a y value that's the negative square root of 2 over 2. And so when you look in quadrant 3 here, you're going to see that it is at 5 pi over 4. And in quadrant 4 over here, you'll see that the y value is negative square root of 2 over 2 at 7 pi over 4. And so there's our two solutions between 0 and 2 pi. So I'm going to go on and do example 4 in the same video here. So for example 4, it tells us to solve. We have 18 cosine of x minus 7 equals 14 cosine of x minus 5. So let's get our cosine of x's on the same side. So I'm going to subtract this 14 cosine of x. And this 7, so that cancels. Let me do that. This 7 doesn't belong here. It doesn't have a cosine of x. So I'm going to go ahead and just move it over and add it to that negative 5. So I have 4 cosine of x equals 2. And so we can divide by 4. And so we get cosine of x equals 1/2. Well, cosine is positive in quadrants 1 and quadrant 4. Cosine is your x value. So in quadrant 1, what is the ordered pair that has an x that is 1/2? And you should be telling me pi over 3. And in quadrant 4, what is the angle that has an x value that is 1/2? And that would be 5 pi over 3. And so there's our two angles.